It used to be chill, it's all up in smoke. I think I'm still fun, parenting's a joke.
Hello, my listeners. It's Ophira Eisenberg. I'm back with a Parenting is a Joke snack here with the host of Hotter Than Ever, the podcast where Erin talks to accomplished women from all kinds of fields, even experts in different fields, about, a little bit about how they having it all idea that we're also supposed to subscribe to is a myth and what it really is to have it all in terms of taking care of yourself, how to push against society's expectations, how to embrace your own desires. And she's here with me for a snack because I wanted to talk a little bit, Erin, about your journey. But no, I want you to take me to the moment for you that I know, but I want to set up for my listeners during the pandemic
Mm.
where everything in your life had a massive shift. Now, just to set it up, because I know a little bit of your story, so I'll do some work for you. You were working as you were heading a content team.
I was heading a content team at a social media platform. I was really crushing it at work. I had just bought a house. Right on the edge of 50. All the grown up things I wanted, had manifested in my life. I had a husband, I had twins, and I was really miserable.
And
Yeah.
you were
It
working
looked
from home because it
so
was a
good.
pandemic. Yep, of
Yes.
course.
It looked so good from the outside, but from the
And then you
inside, it didn't
got
look good. Yeah.
and then it was the pandemic, and somehow, probably from your kids, you got COVID.
Yeah, I got COVID and I was already vaccinated and we were all back out in the world actually. And it was Omicron. Did anybody just throw up in their mouth a little bit when I
Ugh.
said that? It was Omicron and I got sick with COVID pneumonia and I thought, I didn't know it was COVID pneumonia. I just thought, well, it'll work. Yeah, I can do Zooms. And I'd be like coughing on the Zoom. Eventually, I let it go too long, and I checked myself into the hospital at UCLA, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you definitely need to be here," and they pumped me full of everything they had, and they gave me all the whatever the current stuff. I've not been alone in a room with no one bothering me for a full decade. I could hear my own thoughts. I could watch whatever I wanted on the shitty TV. People were there, coming in and out, taking care of me. I hadn't had that experience in a long time. I was getting flowers, the biggest bouquet was from my work. Oh, what a metaphor. And often when I talk about the hospital room, I say hotel room inadvertently because it felt to me
A spa. You were
like it
at a
was Canyon
goddamn
Ranch, like it was Canyon Ranch.
hospital food.
Gross. Ew, I'm not going there. So, as I was I was only there for a couple of days. My ex was flipping out at the time because he was responsible for the kids, all by himself, which he had never
Yeah.
been. And, he picked a fight with me when he was coming to pick me up.
About what?
I don't know.
Something
Something
ridiculous.
over text. I was sitting there on the bed. I was seeing
Oh
these
my
texts from him. He was obviously freaked out because he was afraid he was gonna have to be a single dad and a widower and whatever. I mean, I could tell you his psychology in the moment, but the fact was that I was like, "This is not what I want."
right.
We had been struggling to keep the marriage together for a long time, and I came home, and a week later, 2 weeks later, I turned 50.
Mhm. Milestone.
Yeah. It's a heavy one, and we fought a lot when I got home from the hospital, and I was like, "What is going on here?" And I was like, "We need to do couples therapy, and if it doesn't work, we need to be done." And we did, and it didn't, and 6 months later, he moved out, and 6 months after that, I got laid off from my big fancy job, and I was kind of left with this blank slate.
Yeah.
Where it was an opportunity to reinvent every aspect of my life. I still had these amazing kids. I had some severance. I went on a retreat to Italy because I had wanted to go there for my 50th birthday, and COVID sort of made that not possible. I had an amazing experience. It was very eat, pray, love. I met a hot French guy. And I mean, I started dating immediately, pretty much immediately when my ex moved out because we had not been intimate for a decade.
Okay.
And
So
yeah.
so you're going through the process of separating. You do couples therapy. The therapy which it does sometimes. People go, "Oh, couples therapy, that's how we're gonna stay together." Couples therapy often, as I am told, does not result in that because there is no end result in couples therapy other than to understand each other.
Yes, it was I think the 6th round
Okay, okay.
for us. So we had had lots of different therapists over the years because we were always trying to make it better. But it would go the same way every time. And I don't need to get into the details of how it went, but suffice it to say, it didn't help.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel heard. And I just thought, let's stop banging our heads against this wall.
Was he on the same page? Was he like,
Yeah.
"You're right"? Okay.
Yeah,
So
he was. By
mutual.
that time, we were both like, this is really profoundly not working for either one of us. And we had tried for 5 years to do it for the kids,
Right.
but we were fighting in front of them. It
Yeah.
was not good. I am not proud of that time in my marriage, you know?
Well, what when he moved out, how what did you feel like you had to give some extra care to your kids? How did they react?
It was so hard on them.
Yeah.
And yet, my son, who is a he's a tender, tough guy.
Yeah.
Um, he 2 days after my ex moved out, and he was really identified with his dad and is still very connected with his dad. He said to me, "I feel bad saying this, but it feels better."
Wow. And you were like, "Okay, I did whatever. We did the right thing. This is somehow we
I
have
felt
somewhere to
like
it's
he was
built."
giving me his blessing.
Yeah.
I could cry, like, thinking
Yeah.
about what an act of generosity that was on his part,
Ugh.
because he knew that I was really tormented over it. But it was better, and it is better, because there's no conflict, and I think it took me solidly, like, a year and a half or 2 years to realize that I could have an approach to parenting that wasn't triage. Um
Yeah, interesting. It wasn't just
Mhm.
like literally putting out a fire.
Yeah, yeah, and so now it's like I'm really intentional with how I parent them, and thank God just in time, I've got 4 more years
4 more years. I
before they
know.
go to college,
Oh my god. Yeah.
and then
Okay,
come
they're
back
gonna
and live with me until they're 35.
yeah, exactly. We were like, well, that artistic degree, my football degree, and my shoes degree didn't work out as planned.
I have a
Who knows?
feeling they're gonna be independent people. That's really what I expect of them, and they're pretty good at doing what I expect of them.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. They're pretty good at living up to my
They
expectations,
are.
but we'll see. Yeah, you do make it sound that way. That you lay out some things that are quite rational and reachable for them. You're not being like, I better see you touring a stadium playing violin or whatever.
No, no, in fact, I wouldn't let my daughter play violin when she wanted to play violin because all the Suzuki classes I had to go, and it was like
Yeah,
3 times a week, and I was
yeah.
working. I was
And
like,
you have to learn how to play it as well.
"Babe, I'm not into this. Sorry. School of Rock for you." Like
Yeah, we do School of Rock. We totally do School of Rock. That's so funny. Corey teaches our kid guitar and he's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you start dating immediately.
Yeah, pretty much immediately. I certainly
Okay.
start flirting with guys online,
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
And how does that feel in the beginning?
Wild.
Yeah.
Like, I was like I had not had sex for a decade. I was like a walking head with no body, like, I had no idea if I was attractive.
Disassociated.
I had no idea, if I had no idea about anything. I was just testing the waters. I was like, "Does anybody want this? I'm 50. I'm fun."
Does anyone want this?
But,
Yes.
like,
Okay. Yeah.
turns out you put some pretty pictures on a dating app, and I'm fun, I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm interesting, like, I'm confident, like, turns out, like, lots and lots of people wanted that, and who those people were who wanted that was shocking to me
Why?
because some of them were like 20 and some of them were 70 and some of them were truck drivers and some of them were professors. Like, it was just like, I have that much appeal? Like, what the hell?
You have
Nobody
range.
told me.
You have range.
Well, I guess if you're just a dude swiping, with your dick, like, and then you like a pretty picture, like, I don't know, like, it was crazy to me. And so, I started, like, going on dates and, really trying to get my groove back. Like, and I was not looking for love. I was looking to hook up. I was looking to smoke weed. I was looking to be a teenager. I was looking to be playful, like all the things that I really had not been in my marriage for a very long time. I had been in a box for a
Yeah.
very long time. And I was like, get me out of here.
And do you feel like the people you dated found that refreshing, or were they like, "Are you sure you don't want to, I don't know,
What?
plan something, talk to me about how it's going, have a bigger relationship?"
That didn't happen until it happened.
Yeah.
And, no, there's plenty of guys out there who don't want that either.
No, I wondered if they looked at you and they were like, "Are you sure? Because that's what I want. But are you sure that's what you want?"
Oh,
Because it goes against some of the preconceived notions.
they're getting what they want, so they're not asking questions.
They're like,
They're like, "Oh, this is you're
"Shh."
into this too? Cool, 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 cool." Um, yeah,
And
and then I fell in love with one of those guys.
okay.
And he fell in love with me, and we dated for almost a year and a half. And he was someone who was totally unlike anyone I had ever dated, but it started out as a hot tryst, and
Mhm.
then we just, like, ended up liking it a lot and enjoying being with each other. And that was a whole different thing, a totally different type of person than who I was married to. And then, that ended and I went back to dating casually. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, maybe I could have a boyfriend again. Like maybe I could go out and like intentionally look for that. So that's kind of what I'm doing, but I'm still like, still playing around too.
And how did you just make this very separate from you and your kids' lives? Did you talk to them about it?
No, I did not
No.
talk to them about it. No, especially for the first year. No, I would be like, "Mom's going out. You got a babysitter. I've got plans."
Yeah.
And, I just spent a fortune on babysitters in
Oh
the
god, yeah.
first
I
couple of
mean,
years. And now they're 14, they don't need a babysitter. Then mom's just going out. And sometimes, you know, I tell them something, which may or may not be true. And, you know, I I sometimes now, if I have a date with somebody nice,
yeah.
not a hookup thing, like, or I'm not hooking up with a bunch of people. I have had friends with benefits. That has been my thing. I found a couple people who I like hanging out with. We have an intimate relationship also. Like, that's been wonderful for me because I'm a bit of an avoidant. So, I don't have to, like, do all the emotional stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but now I kind of want the emotional stuff, so I'm 3 years out of, you know, since my ex moved out. And so sometimes I'll tell my daughter, like, "Oh, I had a nice date with someone." Like, but and they did meet the boyfriend.
Okay, I was gonna say with the one that was a year and a half, did they
Yeah,
meet that
they
person?
eventually met him, but part of why we couldn't stay together is because he did not wanna integrate at all.
Okay.
He didn't wanna be part of the family. Like, he wanted
Right.
a hot mom, but he didn't want the actual momness.
Right. He was like with none of the other things, with none of the reality.
Right, right. Right,
And
so it was
are
a
you
fun fantasy for a while, like, it was,
yeah. Now, 14 years old, are either of your kids, is there any dating there, or
no.
they don't talk about crushes
They
or
talk
nothing?
about crushes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my son was on the phone with a girl for 2 hours yesterday,
Oh, wow.
and
FaceTime or the phone?
on
The
the
phone?
phone. Maybe
Love
FaceTime,
it
no FaceTime, it was
so
FaceTime,
okay.
but they were shooting the shit for 2 hours, and, like, she's a friend of my daughter's, like, because they're in the same grade and they go to the same school. They're in different programs at the same school, and my daughter was like, "Oh my god, wouldn't she be such a great girlfriend for him? Oh my god, she's so great," and I was like, "Oh my god, she's so great," and my son was like, "Shut up." We're just friends." So, it's
Mhm.
at just the very beginning of all of that.
Yeah, and your daughter is doesn't talk
Just
too much
crushing
about it.
out on people, just crushing out on boys all the
Oh.
time. Movie star crushes and musician crushes and, guys at camp crushes and stuff like that, but, no, at one point she came out to me as straight.
Was there a prior time where it was maybe
Yes,
she
she had
was
come out
okay.
to me in, like, 3rd or 4th grade as bi,
Oh,
and I was like, "Okay, cool." Like,
yeah.
love is love is love. And then she went to sleepaway camp and got crushes on boys and started to have, like, sexual feelings. And she came home and she's like, "Mom, I have to tell you something. I think I'm straight." And I was like, "This is the best conversation I've
This
ever
is
had
the
in my entire
best.
life."
It's so funny. It's so adorable and so right. I mean, in some ways I go, yeah, that's whoever however you
Right.
identify, maybe it's all about coming out.
Right.
You should come out.
Totally. Isn't that
Um,
cute? Yeah.
Very cute. I will tell you that my son, it's since what kind of gone, but he had a crush on a girl in his class, 4th grade, told her, and she said, "I'm going around with this other boy, but if that doesn't work out, you're next." I was like, that girl in the 4th grade has more confidence than I ever had.
Facts. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I have a lot of hope for this next generation, you know, especially the girls who are growing up with a different kind of confidence.
When you were dating, I know that you were just talking I mean, you're still dating, but when you sort of shifted, so when you were more in the hookup culture frame of mind,
Yeah.
did you find I'm just curious that because you were dating mostly men?
I date
All
men.
men?
Yeah.
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 Uh, I knew that, but I was just double checking because who
You
knows,
never
and,
know.
do whatever you want. Did you find that they were any of them dads? Were you aware of them being dads?
Some were dads, now I really like dating dads.
Okay.
Beginning, I really didn't care, and I'm youthful, so I tend to like to date younger guys, not too much younger, but, like, I find if men in their 50s are not doing great, like,
Cut your
at least not here
toenails.
in LA,
Cut
like,
your toenails. Oh, yeah.
no, they're cute and everything, but they just are having career crises, and their
Yes.
own romantic things are complicated, and their parenting things are complicated, and, like, you know, they're not as energetic.
Right. Oh
S
god. Yes.
so, yeah, I mean, I can relate to them, and we all listen to the same music, but, I like a little bit younger is better for me.
Yeah.
Um,
What age are we talking?
I mean, optimally, like, mid-40s, like,
Yeah,
not
I'm
so
with you.
much
Yeah,
younger.
a little life experience. A little life
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, and I like the
Okay.
dads. I like the dads. I've been dating dads recently, and it's
Okay.
good because as I have gotten more comfortable with being a single parent, my identity as mom has sort of moved center stage, whereas when I was splitting parenting more with my ex, I was very immersed in my career,
Yeah.
and I never wanted to be like mommy mom. I never wanted to I had twins, I had a big career, I had a different I didn't couldn't relate to the people who volunteered at the preschool, you know?
Yeah.
Those were I was never around enough, really. I was focused on something else. So now I'm super identified with being a mom in a really gorgeous way and in a fun way. And I like it when men are committed to their kids.
Yeah. I know. I like that too. It's like
Mhm.
whatever. I could say this in a million different ways, but you know what turns me on? Someone who's responsible. I guess
That's
that's what I'm gonna say.
yeah. So hot. So hot. I had a date with a guy who had been a film executive, saw that falling apart, went back to school, became a therapist, is extremely successful at that now, has 2 teenagers, co-parents with his ex, like, has a good I'm like and is super fit. I'm like,
Yes.
"Hi. Hi, daddy." Like, bring me that. I don't know if it's a love connection, but I'm gonna see him again,
But
like,
it's pretty sounds pretty
but he's
great.
real responsible and, like, doing good, like All
That
right.
sounds good. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
So,
Oh my
you know,
goodness. I agree 100%.
it's an evolution, Ophira. Like, I think I needed to, like, go nuts when I
Of
first got out of the marriage, and
that makes perfect
and
sense.
and just like parenting, the only thing you can count on is that it is not gonna stay the same. It is not your problems today are not your problems tomorrow. Um,
That's that
so
is wise in
yeah.
every way. That is
Mhm.
wise in every way. Perfect. Perfect closer to the snack. Erin, love talking to you. I need more time with you, so we'll continue the conversation at some point. You're the best. I feel like also I am in awe. I'm in awe of all the things you do. Listeners, I know you enjoy this. Check out Erin's podcast. You've recorded over 100 episodes, so you can feast your ears on so much content,
Binge
and more is
away.
all
Yeah.
coming hotter than ever. And if you're in LA, make sure that, at some point, by the way, listeners, at some point we will do a live show. It's just
Yeah.
been a crisis in my life, one thing after another. So,
Well, you're a working comic, that's
working comic.
you gotta prioritize the work part of that.
Gotta just try to make some cash here. But thank you so much. And also follow her on all the socials. Do you like people following you on
I like
one in
it.
particular?
Hotter than ever pod on Instagram,
On the Instagram. Yes.
hotter than ever on Substack. Yeah. All the places with all the stuff. Thank you, Ophira. You are the best. I'm so glad we've been friends all these years.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. And thanks again to Erin Keating. Have some fun and download her podcast, Hotter Than Ever. It is fun. The talks are very inspirational that she has with her guests, who range from experts. There's a lot of sex experts. There's some comedy people, all kinds of great women. So subscribe now. Hey, if you're new to this podcast, hi, how are you? Subscribe to this podcast. I'm doing one episode a week in August, but back in September, I'll be back to my regular cadence of 2 a week. You can subscribe by hitting subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And follow me everywhere at Ophira E. On TikTok, I'm at Ophira NYC. I want to let you know that I'm going to be doing a big show in New York that I'm preparing for. If you're in New York, I have tons of shows. I'm also out on the road. You can find out all my dates at ophiraeisenberg.com. But pin this now in your brain. I'll be recording and performing and everythinging a new hour-long comedy special at the Comedy Cellar right here in New York, in the heart of the Village, on Sunday, November 9th. Kind of far away, but as you know, not at all. So just remember that November 9th, when you're in August, you're like, I can't even think of what that will be like. And then tomorrow, there you are, wondering what you're going to start doing for the holidays. You know what you're going to do? You're going to come see me at the Comedy Cellar before that. So check that out. Check me out on those socials. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.